everyone. Wow. Wow. This is the first streaming I'm doing on H4AB page in a month or a month and a half. You know, this year I have really been all about just raising awareness, hosting founders of associations, and joining in campaigns and stuff like that. And the month of September, I took a break, and I'm really like a one-man show as far as H4AB's growth is concerned this year, because I'm in school, right? I'm a Commonwealth scholar, and I have so many other things going on in my life. I didn't have time to focus on any project per se, apart from just raising awareness and doing some advocacy work and stuff like that. So this is October, and yesterday was World Mental Health Day. The World Federation for Mental Health, which has been in existence since 1948, created at the same time as World Health Organization, right? But it seems we don't know so much about it because, well, it's Federation for Mental Health. And you know, when we talk mental health, people are like, whatever. Anyway, so the World Federation for Mental Health, WFMH, I'm a member, you know, and stuff like that. They decide on the theme for each year. And this year's theme is mental health in an unequal world. That's so interesting. Like, is it now that we know that there's so much inequality in the world, or what are we to do with that topic, that theme? So I looked up on their website, you know, there was a breakdown, and they suggest that we talk about mental health, inequality in the world, and what we can do. Who are we? The individual, the family, the community, the powers that be, you know, policy makers, and all of that. So I wouldn't have a conversation about such broad things all by myself, right? No, I invited my fellow peer and colleague, Ellen Yekpu. She's going to introduce herself anyway, so she'll bear with me if I didn't pronounce her names very well. She is on the Global Mental Health Network as myself, and she does a lot of other things, and she has an organization, so it's going to be very interesting. I'm actually looking forward to hosting her on another day, because 45 minutes, 1 hour might not be enough for us to do mental health and then much more. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Ellen on. And I forgot to say my name. I hope you both remember my name, Maria Vanga. Anyways, you know me, it's always relaxed. It's like let it flow. It's like fireside conversation kind of thing. You know, on mental health, sometimes I myself live with post-traumatic stress disorder. So I don't take myself too seriously, nor do I take life seriously. And it works for me that way. So let me bring Ellen on, and Ellen is going to talk to us about the realities on the ground. She's in ground zero, and all of that kind of stuff. And then we'll see what we get before our time is up. Okay. So I hope that the network is going to be very kind with me today, or with us. Should I start praying? Where is Ellen? Ellen, where are you? Okay, you see, before I went live, I was with Ellen. Oh my goodness, where is she? Okay, well, I'm not able to find Ellen. What am I going to do now? I can't be talking alone, you know. Who else am I going to invite now? Oh, by the way, please go and check their Facebook page. I put the link there. www.facebook.com/BeLA Association. Let me see if Ellen has come back. Ellen! Oh la la. Where is Ellen? Who can go and get Ellen for me? I don't know. Ellen? I can't find you. Where is Ellen? If anyone knows where Ellen is, go and get her for me, please. Oh, network. Come on now. Come on. Ellen. Oh,
hello.
Praise the Lord. Yes, Ellen, welcome.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you very much.
I was
I
already
am
about to
very, very excited.
start some prayers.
The network has not been fine.
Yeah, well, let's just continue. Please, Ellen, just start. Just introduce yourself.
Hello.
Yeah.
I've been trying to share the link. I don't know where.
Well, let's not bother. Let's just start. We can share even after. The good thing is that it's going to stay there. It's not going anywhere. You see, somebody is already saying finally. Mark is saying finally, because we were already worried that you will not come up. So just start. Just introduce yourself and let's start.
I'm here, Mark.
Okay, let's start.
Very unstable.
Yes. So let's just start. Let's just start, because if we want to do formality, it can leave us somewhere. Let's start. Introduce yourself and then we'll just start. We'll just stop.
Yeah, Marie, one quick question. If I succeeded to share the link.
Don't bother about that, Ellen. Let's start. We can share it after. It's not going anywhere.
Sorry?
We can share it again after. It's not going anywhere. Let's just start.
Okay.
So let's start by you introduce yourself and then we go. Oh, network, what's happening? Ellen.
Yes, Marie.
Let's start.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Start. Introduce yourself and then let's roll.
Okay, thank you very much, Marie. Yes, I'm so excited to be with you here today to commemorate the World Mental Health Day. It's today, and we all know the theme of the World Mental Health Day that was celebrated today. So, in our own way, I believe uh, celebrate our own day today or commemorate our own day today. So I'm Yekpu Eleen. From the name, I'm sure you can guess I'm from Kumbu precisely. I'm the founder, executive director of Beacon of Light Application, BeLA, and we are based in London. BeLA is an organization that has a main mission to protect and promote the rights of women and youth. We have been in existence for 2016, and so far we've been striving and been trying our best to see how we can reach our community and give back in our community as much as we can. So I'm sure subsequently we'll be talking more about what we are doing as far as mental health is concerned. Um, what do I add again?
That you are a
I'm a
psychotherapist and a
psychotherapist.
school counselor.
I'm a psychotherapist. I'm a school counselor. Personally, I'm a PhD in counseling
Oh,
psychology.
how could you
So
leave
we are
that
keeping our
out?
fingers crossed.
Wow. Wow. You
So
do
our
as
fingers
many
are
things
crossed
as
to see how
myself.
we can get the freedom. Yes.
Wow. So how are you
Thank you very much for
feeling?
having me, Marie.
Yeah, how are you feeling with all the many caps you wear?
Uh,
Wow. This network means business.
there are
Disturbing. Oh,
Yeah, thank you for asking that question, Marie. There are times we forget to ask ourselves, we forget to ask our friends, our parents, our accountants how they are, how they are feeling. We just take for granted, okay, that maybe they should be feeling okay. And we just move on with our conversation. But I want to appreciate the fact that you asked me how I'm feeling, and it is very important for us to ask our acquaintances and family members at home how they are feeling. Because nowadays, with all what is happening and all what is going through our minds and everything, it's difficult for us to express how we are feeling. So when somebody asks you how you are feeling, it's heartwarming and it's very important. So let's also encourage ourselves, ask ourselves how we are feeling. So Marie, how am I feeling? I am excited. I'm feeling happy. Despite what is happening around us, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, despite our ongoing European crisis that has been going on for close to 6 years now. Um, yes, we've been thriving. We've been struggling, we've been thriving. And so thank you for asking that question. And let me ask you, Marie, how are you feeling?
okay, thank you, Ellen. How am I feeling? You know, on my wall, I have different emotions. And so I can always look at them and, just tell myself how I'm feeling. And I look in the mirror. I have a mirror in my office to look at my own self and tell myself some things each day. So thank you for asking me that question. I'm a person with a lived experience, and I take myself to be my own first client, so I don't joke with my self-care and just telling myself, like treating myself like my client, and I don't shy away from saying how I feel at all times. It's very important. And I know that I cannot be something for the world if I'm not that for myself. So if I don't feel good, I say I don't feel good. And if I feel good, I say I feel good. So this morning, Ellen, thank you for asking. I feel excited. I feel happy. I feel even proud. I feel what? Seriously. No, I don't feel
Wow.
hunger. I feel a
Wow.
little hyper even. I'm just excited that we are having this
Ah,
conversation and that we are starting by keeping it real, by talking about our own selves. Because sometimes, as you said, we are just rushing, trying to do things and trying to help everybody be the beacon of light, the hope for the abuse and the battered. What about ourselves? Don't we need that light? Don't we need the hope? So it's very important. And as
yeah,
psychotherapist,
very,
you're just Sometimes you need your own therapy, and I don't joke with giving myself therapy, from sports to sleeping to reading to crying to everything. I think I take care of myself more than I take care even of my children. Sometimes I really try to find a balance between that. So yeah, Ellen, thank you so much. That's how I'm feeling. And because I feel that way, sometimes I observe what's going on in the world, but I kind of detach sometimes, because I tell myself, well, the world is unequal. There's so much inequality. There's so much strife. There's so much. What can I do, me alone? I don't want my mental health to be affected much more than it already is. So I have to kind of like just ground myself again. But sometimes I also feel like, that's so selfish. You have to at least step out there and do something. I don't know about you. How do you sometimes see all of that?
Come again, Marie.
I was asking you
The
how you
line is
sometimes.
breaking.
Are you getting me now?
Yeah, it's better.
I was asking you how you sometimes navigate being in the world, kind of with all the strife and the inequalities and all the anguish going on, and then trying to protect your own mental health. How do you balance that?
Marie, thank you for that question. I hope I got that question. The lines are breaking. I don't know whether I got it wrong. I'm asking if despite all the challenges, the inequalities, how am I,
Yes.
hello,
Yes, that's what I asked.
hello.
Yes, Ellen, that's what I asked you.
Okay, Marie, thank you. Sorry, the very good. Oh yes, you talked about how I'm managing my mental health. But before I get into how I'm, I want us to talk about or to lay the foundation of what we are talking about. We're talking about mental health, and I think that many people who are following us or who would eventually come later on and follow us. So I think it's important for us to explain as explain what mental health is. So I'll look at the definition of the World Health Organization, and it simply says mental health is a state in which an individual is able to realize certain things. For basically to realize his or her own potentials, one, be able to cope with the normal stresses of life. We know there are so many stresses of life. We COVID-19, the ongoing campaign, the mental problems, ill health, so many stresses of life. Be able to cope with those normal stresses of life. Are you able to work productively and fruitfully? And last but not the least, are you able to do your own community? So we are talking about mental health. We need to look at those four aspects as given by the World Health Organization. So a person who is in a good mental health, person who is in that state of mind, be able to realize his or her own potential. He or she is able to cope with the normal stresses of life. He or she is able to work productively and fruitfully, and he or she is able to make a contribution to his or her community. So, going back to your question, how am I coping despite the challenges, despite the inequalities that I'm facing as far as my mental health is concerned? Marie, I would say it's been very challenging. I've raised earlier the challenge of the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. We know how challenging it has been since 2019 when the pandemic came about. With the measures that were put in place, and we saw how uh, there has been a rise in economic challenges as well as gender-based violence as far as women are concerned. You know, we work with women. Also, there has been the challenge of the armed conflict. Marie, trust me, every day I hear people who have been killed, who have been abducted, who have been kidnapped, and we live every day in fear. You don't know what the next moment is going to be. You don't know whether you survive the next moment. All of these things, they mean a lot as far as our mental health is concerned, or as far as my mental health. So, despite all of this, what do I do to force ahead, take care of my mental health? Maria, I would say the first on the list would be my sport or physical activity. I make sure that I relax support with physical exercises like every day, like 30 minutes
Wow.
to 1 hour every day. And the
Wow.
next one is about meditation. Meditation, mindfulness. It's very important. As much as possible to meditate, as much as possible to relax. And support system is also very important because there are times when you're lonely, when you're alone, there are those times, those terrible times in bed. So when you have a strong support system around you, you have people you can share, you can converse with, they help you to distract you and make you feel much more better. So Marie, I would say this is I've been coping as far as my mental health is concerned. I've been taking care of my mental health despite the challenges that I've been facing in the northwest region all this while. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you. The inequalities that the World Federation for Mental Health talks about and WHO talks about, and we all know, things like access to care, things like discrimination, maybe based on your religion, your race, your I don't know whether we'll talk about sexual orientation in Cameroon, but those kind of things. And in moments like what we are witnessing, the pandemic and the crisis in the region where you are in the Anglophone regions, I'm wondering how easy it is to access care. Not just talk about medical care, but specifically mental health support services. Did we even have enough to begin with? And now with the challenges, can people even access those ones? And if they cannot, what can they do?
Okay. Thank you, Marie, for that question. First and foremost, I would like to start by telling you that the context in particular, we have very little to no awareness as far as mental health is concerned. There is a lot of stigmatization. There's a lot of people relegate mental health to the don't. When someone is the issue of mental health, what first comes to mind? Okay, maybe it's witchcraft, right?
Yeah.
So It's been a challenge for me as an individual who is who is a mental health practitioner to first or try to raise awareness of the fact that the issue called mental health. There is It's important for us to take care of our mental health and make sure to raise awareness in our community for them to know that mental health issues are not taboo. Mental health issues can happen to anybody. Mental health issues, when you have mental health issues, not because you've done something wrong, it's not because you've offended the ancestors. No, anybody can go through depression, mental health. Anybody can go through anxiety. Anybody can go through post-traumatic stress.
Trauma, yeah.
So the challenge to raise awareness for them to understand these are mental health issues are okay when you face them. The first, when you go through them, you need somebody to help you to surpass that particular phase in your life. There are mental health experts. There are therapists who are there trained to help you go through that. So the first challenge is the awareness raising. The challenge is the fact that even those who have little knowledge about
Oh, the network is at this. So we're really having an interesting expose. Um, she was talking about the challenges on the ground.
hello,
Yes, Ellen, thanks for
hello,
coming back. Yes.
yeah, yeah. The network. I just need to apologize for the network.
No, no, no. You don't need to apologize. It's good for us to get the reality like this. I'm actually happy to be very honest with you. Like, that is what happens. So people should see it, and I'm going to write that. I'm like, yeah, the network is adding to the inequality and the stress. Happened again. Okay, let's watch. Maybe I should keep some time to see how much time it will last before Ellen will come back. So Ellen was saying that the first challenge is raising awareness. People think that a mental health challenge is as a result of witchcraft or a spiritual attack. You have offended the gods or something. We have lost Ellen, but I think that she's going to come back. And before I see if Ellen has come back, I would like to talk about the early warning signs, because as much as we say inequality, let's look at mental health. It's very important. And then, inequality or not, what can we ourselves do as individuals, as families caring for their loved ones or for themselves, as communities, and as stakeholders, policymakers? And if individuals come together, communities, associations, we can put pressure on these policy makers so that we don't even have a national mental health policy in Cameroon. Maybe it's still in the pipeline. And this is maybe the 4th year where this day is going to be celebrated nationally in this country. I was invited to the second one. So I think that was 3 years ago, 2018. So now this will be the 5th year, I think so. So gradually. So before I check if Ellen is back, I don't know. I think she's back. So yes, Ellen is back. Ellen is back. Ellen.
Yes, Marie.
Thanks for coming back. So you were talking about the challenges on the ground, and you said the first one was awareness. People shouldn't think that is due to witchcraft or spiritual attack and stuff. Now, continue with those challenges, and then we can look at early warning signs of really having a mental health problem or challenge which really needs urgent attention.
Okay, thank you, Marie. So the next challenge I will talk about is um, the challenge of, I don't know what you call it, finances, or the, I don't know how to put it. Yeah, but the point
Yeah.
is, since people don't know exactly what the mental health is, those who are even a little bit aware, they don't see why they would spend their money on what they consider trivial things like mental health,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Now the point now is, a psychotherapist or a social worker cannot work for free. Yes,
Exactly. Of course.
we have organizations. We have organizations on the ground who offer psychosocial support. But then, as a psychotherapist who has you've done your training, you've spent money and everything to become who you are, and you need to make a living out of what you're doing. But
Just
then,
normal.
yeah, but then the the few clients or the few people who want to have access to your services, they don't want to pay, or they see that the fee that you're leaving is too high. Meanwhile, we know, I don't know, in Bamenda, trust me, in Bamenda, we do we carry out psychotherapy for practically no fee. I'm sure maybe in Douala or where you are, it's even much better. Maybe you can even tell me about your own experience as far as your structure is concerned. So you see, that's another big challenge we are facing. Now, another one is structures. We don't have structures to take care of persons who have mental health issues, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about our policies. I don't know. There is a lot that has to be done with our policies as far as health and mental health is concerned. Because to the best of my knowledge, I know that the structure, or the structure taking care of people with mental health issues is the Jamo Hospital in Yaoundé,
And Douala.
right?
La Quintini in Douala, yeah.
Yeah, okay, Yaoundé and Douala. So the other regions, what happens to people in the other regions?
Don't ask
You
me.
see that you see that there is a challenge as far as access, or the structures to even take care of people who have mental health issues is concerned. Maybe we may have a, I don't know how it's, maybe a department for psychiatry in the general hospital or regional hospital in Bamenda. But then how functional
Equipped.
is the
Yeah.
structure? How equipped is it? Who are those working in that particular department? Do they have experts who actually work there? So you discover that mental health issues still has a long way to go as far as Cameroon is concerned, or as far as the northwest region where I'm based is concerned. So what happens now is uh, anybody becomes a social worker. Anybody tries in his or her own way to see how he or she can help as far as psychosocial support is concerned, even though you're not even a professional, even if you have the expertise as far as that is concerned. So you may see a small clinic. Somebody opens up a small clinic and then says he's treating, or he's taking care of mental health people suffering from mental health illness, and go there and see what happens. You go there and you see people who are chained or shackled on
Oh,
their bed. So it's really deplorable. And then you even see, worst of all, now when with this crisis, you see a lot of mad people around, which is not supposed to be the case. So we have a long way to go. policies have to be worked on. We need to call on the powers that be for them to make sure that they sit up and and take mental health issues as important as other aspects of our country, because mental health and physical health, they go hand in glove. If you have mental health, it's going to affect your physical health. If your physical health has an issue, it's definitely going to affect your mental health. So let them work hand in glove and see how, as much as they're improving on the hospitals and physical health of the population, let them also take into consideration about the mental health of the population and the physical health of the population.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Before Ellen comes back, she was really talking about the challenges, right? And how much work still has to be done, and how we really need our policy makers to step up. I would like to look at, what we ourselves can do as individuals, what we should be looking out for, and families also. I would like to talk with Ellen about that. I want to take Ellen out so that you just don't keep looking at her face and then she's not able to contribute. But I really hope that she's going to be able to, add in something about this. But I want to look at the early warning signs, and I got this from the World Federation for Mental Health, and which is something that I know myself as a person with lived experience and to psychotherapist and all of that. But as an individual, as much as whatever is going on out there is going on, you need to pay a lot of attention to yourself. Like when I was doing sports this morning, I could feel different parts of my body relaxing. And yesterday, not yes, yeah, yesterday I'd been feeling some aches over the weekend anyway, because I don't work out over the weekend. I try to let my muscles rest. So over the weekend, I was feeling some ache. Um, Ellen,
Hello.
I'm glad you are back. I wanted to talk about some early warning signs, because I wanted to also put some emphasis on us, the individuals, what we should be doing to sometimes take care of our mental health, so that we don't even get to the point where we are helpless and we need kind of like structural intervention. So you just follow with me, and then if you have anything to add, you could add. Because there are people who are going to watch and people who are watching who might be like, yeah, so what should I be looking out for? Why do I have to do something myself? Well, because if you don't do something yourself, by the time you have a nervous breakdown, they will do whatever they will do to you out there, chain you up, inject you, and all of those kind of things. And it's going to be a very long road to recovery. So as much as there's a lot of inequality out there, there's also a lot of inequality going on inside you, and you're the one who has to find that balance. So one thing you should pay attention to, as I said, is your body. When I was doing exercises this morning, I could feel my body relaxing and stretching. Sometimes it is the amount of pain you feel that tells you, aha, so there was something there was some contraction there, and so it's relaxing. And then your eating habits. Is it kind of consistent, or are you eating too much, or are you eating too little? I mean, not when you are fasting and stuff, but just generally. Sleeping. When I make my plan, my sleeping hygiene, my friends sometimes laugh at me, my family, everybody, like, let me call you quickly before 8:30, because we don't know if you are going to be, your phone is even going to be on after 8:30 p.m. Yes, because I want to sleep well. I don't want to sleep too little, because my brain has its own alarm clock. 4 a.m. I am up, sometimes 3:30 a.m. So if I don't sleep by 9, then I'm cheating myself. And even then, I'm not sure it's up to 8 hours. So I watch myself like a hawk. As I said, I'm my own patient and client and everything. So I really take care of myself. Of course, pulling away from people and usual activities, those are signs that something is happening. As much as all what is going on out there, like, have you lost interest completely in your own activities, or are you still trying, to keep up, to read a book, to work out, to talk to people, and all of that? With the pandemic now, you don't just want to be going to all the funerals and stuff like that. Maybe you want to do keep in touch with people virtually and stuff like that. Or if you don't want to talk to them at all, start to pay attention. Having low or no energy. I have too much energy, to be honest. Some days I'm like, hey, calm down. Like this morning, I have been on the go, but I think that I can manage that, and I'm going to do that. But that is too much. But when you don't even have, or you have low, especially when you know yourself, please, you need to talk to somebody. Feeling numb, like nothing matters, you just feel sad. After all, what difference can I make in this world? You can make a difference. You can even just share, a joke. People laugh, and that makes them kind of happy and get the energy to go out there and do some more. When you're having unexplained aches and pains, that is why Ellen was saying physical health and mental health are related. Some pains, you don't even know where they're coming from. Well, they're coming from some stress, they're coming from some intrusive thoughts, they're coming from all of that worry. I tell some people, I don't worry again because I just dumped the thing there to God. I mean, I needed to buy a pair of basketball shoes for my son over the weekend, and I was like, hey, God, me, I need 25K. I'm sure we'll get one with 25K. I said it on Saturday. Somebody sent me some money by that evening, and by the next day, Sunday, yesterday, I went with my son to buy. I mean, that's something some people might not even be thinking about, but I'm like, why should I worry about it? And if I couldn't buy it then, I was like, okay, well, I cannot buy, I'm not going to kill myself. My friend, you missed training this week. Instead of turning my head and ruminating and thinking about, my goodness, I'm helpless, I'm hopeless. No. Smoking, drinking, using drugs, especially more than usual, there should be a problem. Feeling unusually confused, forgetful, on edge, angry, upset, worried, or scared, yelling or fighting with family and friends, pay attention to all of that. Experiencing mood swings that cause problems in relationships, pay attention. Having persistent thoughts and memories you can't get out of your head. Hearing voices or believing things that are not true. Thinking of harming yourself or others. Inability to perform daily tasks like taking care of your kids or getting to work or school or cooking and stuff like that. I think Ellen is back, and I'm going to bring Ellen. Ellen was talking about how people take it for granted, or people think, oh, what do you mean therapy? What is therapy? Why should I go and see somebody when I have this kind of signs? Like, well, if you don't go, then it's going to get worse. And then you're the one who is going to pay the price after everything. So it's very important. And as Ellen also said, we professionals, we cannot be doing that for free now. What would I have? I have bills, I have children, I have my school, I have things to do with money. That's my own trade. You don't go to a supermarket and want to get things for free. You don't even go to the hospital, for example, if you have diabetes or cancer or stuff and think that are going to do radiotherapy or give you insulin and all of that for free. No. So why would you expect psychosocial support for free? Even associations, I don't have no funding. I don't know if Ellen's organization has funding. So we have to raise money somehow. So when you come and pay, you're not really doing us a favor. You're doing your own self a favor. It's for your own health. So I'm going to bring Ellen back, and then we are going to talk about ways to maintain positive mental health, and then we are going to call that a show because the network and time is not on our side. So is Ellen there? It looks like Ellen is not there. Ellen, are you there? Yes, Ellen is there. Please, network, let Ellen come. Let's wrap up. Ellen.
Yes, Marie.
Were you hearing what I was saying anyway?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. So what do you have to say about
Marie,
that?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Anyway, anyway, so this is another inequality in the world. We are in the same country. The network in my own region is good. The network in Ellen's region is poor. So how do
Yeah,
we do
I'm in
it?
ground zero, so we have.
So Ellen, I'm trying to wrap up. Okay. I think Ellen is going to on what Ellen said, I'm going to do some bullet points and I'm going to put that in the comment section so that we can stay in touch with that. We've been on for 46 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up with ways to maintain positive mental health. And then, well, I'm just so grateful that Ellen was able to share some things with us, on and off. That is it. The important thing is that I didn't do all of the talking alone. And this is it. This is our reality. This is some of the inequalities we face. And this is how we ourselves, professionals, we sometimes have to deal with all of these stuff in addition to the challenges that clients have or that people have in accessing care, in affording care, and all of those things. That's what the whole conversation was about. So ways to maintain positive mental health. Ellen has talked to us about mental health. We all have mental health. There's nobody who doesn't use their mind. There's nothing you can do without using your mind. So when we say mental health, we are not talking about people who have already lost it, had nervous breakdowns, and who were walking the streets or who have been diagnosed and in the psychiatric ward. No, we are talking about what goes on in our minds, all of us, all human beings, and how important it is that you are able to realize your full potential. You are able to cope with the stresses of life. You are able to work productively, and you are able to make meaningful contributions to your community. And that is what it is, mental health. And that is how important it is to take care of your mental health to find the balance. I have my big sister who has come, and I wish I was able to add her to this, but she says I should keep talking. We all have mental health, and that's very important. I'm so grateful you joined one. So we really do all have mental health. So there should be no taboo in talking about mental health at all. Or even in saying that I have some challenges. Having a challenge doesn't mean that you are completely out of your mind, and so you should be in a hospital, you should be chained up, or you should be taken to some baba somewhere, or to some I don't know. No, anybody can have a challenge. Look at the network wasn't good, so I could feel frustrated. I could punch my phone, I could shout, I could do something. That reaction is what we are trying to work on, and also try not to get to the point where we need to go and be struggling to access the few services that are available. That is why it's very important, listen, to get professional help if you need it. Sometimes don't even wait until it is too late. Look, if I do 3 days without sleeping well, I already know that there's something wrong. Even one day, I'm already talking. Talking too much helps me a lot because I don't keep my struggles to myself. I don't. I'm so grateful. Yes, the stress of life is a stressor. Yeah, somebody says you're a proud person. For what? And then what is wrong in being proud about yourself or about your achievements, about your milestones? And that is an inequality, Grandson. I'll be honest. They don't tell men that men are proud of themselves just like that. But they tell women very easily we are proud of ourselves. Why? If a man is made the CEO of a company and is, oh, that's cool, we are clapping for him, we are throwing a party. But if it's a woman, you have to start, being covered about it. No, but after everything, oh, your house first, your marriage first. Those are things that one day we will have to look at seriously. So if you are having this kind of intrusive thoughts, or if people are saying all kinds of things, and the other that was watching a Red Table Talk and people were talking about cyberbullying and stalking, all of that can affect your mental health. You cannot even be at peace in your mind because people are saying all kinds of things which are false about you. That is going to affect your mental health, and it's going to affect the way you cope with life stresses and your work, your relationship with others. So get professional help. And sometimes the earlier you go to a specialist when things are not yet that bad, the cheaper it is for you and the better it is for you to get on your recovery journey. So don't wait. Don't wait until it is too late, because sometimes when it's too late, even me myself, I'm like, no, I can't help you. Seriously, you have to go to the hospital. The second thing, connect with others. I have Ellen was talking about support network. I have mine. This my grandson here. She is like my number one. I'm like, talk. Don't keep things to yourself. For what? What? I don't have me no problem with anybody saying anything about Maria Banga to the world. No, because I don't want them to stay in my head. What am I doing with those things inside my head? I don't need them there. I need my balanced well-being, because I have things to do. I have to take care of my children. I have to add value to the community. So I don't have time to be dealing with stress in my life from relationships, shenanigans, and stuff like that. So no, I connect with people, but with people who add value to my life, people who will tell me my truth without, bashing me with all of that. I connect with those people, and I stay positive every day, attitude of positive. This morning, oh my goodness, my kids were all over the place. I think they have Monday blues also. They were late, the clothes abandoned in the buckets to dry, the buckets, the this, the that. Well, I did my best, and I was like, okay, well, life doesn't stop. My house doesn't have to be nickel, pick a pin, clean, and all of those kind of things. And you have to do that. Stay positive. It's not only about clean things and tidy and all of those kind of things. You have to decide which is your level of positive, which is your level of balance, which is your own happy, and what you don't take, you set boundaries. Very important. My sleeping time is 9 p.m. By 8:30, my people know me. Don't call me. You call, I might not pick, because some calls might come in like that and just add to your stress level. Even if you write, I can read and not reply, or I don't even read. Do the same thing to me. It's okay, because it's very important to have that sleep. Another thing is getting physically active. Ellen says she works out every day for 30 minutes. I'm not going to lie that I do that. I work out 3 or 4 times a week, sometimes 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour. But the important thing is just get active. And it's not like you must go to the gym and pull those things or do the push-ups, the press-up, and all of that. Don't go and kill yourself. If that's not for you, that's not for you. If it's even just walking, if it's dancing, if it's, working for Africa, cleaning the whole place, just doing some physical exercise, to get those, I don't know what to call them, get the blood flowing, circulating, get those hormones, the endorphins, get them released. And there's some stress, like this morning, release all of that through that exercise. Help others. I'm not doing this talk here because I like what to do with my data or what to do with my time. No, it's because I know that putting this information out there is going to help my community, and that's why I'm doing it on Facebook. I could go and do a Zoom thing, or I could go and I have another one at 4 p.m. with the Global Mental Health Network. But I was like, no, let me also talk to my people. And as grandson said, let's keep sharing. Let's keep talking. There was a time when I was tired. I talked to her, I talked to the CEO of the Global Mental Health Panel. I said, I'm tired with all this talking. And she said, no, you have to keep doing it. Even if you don't see the results today, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, people will be like, oh yes, Maria Banga kept saying the same thing over and over. And that some people reach out to me and say, oh yeah, what you say and what you do actually helps. So I do that. So get enough sleep, develop coping skills, do your mental health care plan. I have a mental health care plan for myself, so that I know what I have to do. And if I get to the point where I cannot think very well again, it has happened and it can happen again, somebody can look at my plan and know that, okay, when Marie is already talking like this or doing like this or not doing like this, this is what could be going on and this is what can help her better. It's very important, and there's no shame. I have not had any backlash since I started talking about my challenges, I really don't care if I have backlash, because my mental health is most important. So let me see if I can get Ellen back. Let her just say a final word before we close. Ellen?
Yeah, Mary.
Yes, please. I'm wrapping up. Any final words? The network wasn't kind, but at least that is the reality of it, frankly speaking. So,
Yeah. It's very frustrating, Marie. Very frustrating. Can you imagine? I'm using two networks. I'm using Camtel and I'm using MTN. So if Camtel can fail me, MTN can fail me, then you then you can imagine how what we are going through here in Bamenda. So, final words. What do I say? I will just say we need to take care of our mental health. Our mental health is very, very, very important. Yeah, I've been following. I followed you. Talking. You talked about the warnings, early warning signs. You talked about what you can do to take care of those early warning signs. We should not be ashamed of mental health issues. It's not a taboo. Everybody has the potential to suffer a mental health issue, right? So
yeah.
we should not say that, okay, you're a weak person, that's why you have mental health issues. No, you're not weak. You're simply being human. There are times you're low, there are times you're high. It's okay for you to have it's okay. We need to encourage people that it's okay to have a mental health issue. But then what do you do? What do you do is what is important for us to know. When you're facing this particular feeling, what do you do? Who do you go to? Who do you go to for help? We have to know that there is help out there. There are people we need to reach out to without any taboo, without any stigma. Yes, there are issues of there are people who have family members, friends suffering from mental health illness, and you see them, they lock them up somewhere in a dark room. They shackle them up with chains. It's not done. Those people are human beings, and they have rights like you and I. So we need to treat them like any other normal human being. Don't chain or shackle somebody up because the person is facing mental health issues. Seek the right people to take care of those people. We need to speak out. When you're facing depression, you're facing anxiety, pregnant women, maybe you're afraid. When you're pregnant, you're afraid that maybe something can happen after putting birth. We have this what women go through after
Post,
putting
yeah, postpartum.
yes,
Postpartum.
yes. But for us here, we will think that no, how can this woman hate her baby? How can this woman be pretending that she's not feeling okay? How can this woman be saying that she's depressed? Those things are real. But then we don't, since we are not aware of those things, we consider them as something else. But when we are aware of those things, we know how to reach out for help. And when help comes, we become okay, we become normal. So yes, my last word is mental health issues are issues that everybody has a potential of having. And what we need to do is to seek the right help, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you so much, Ellen. I really appreciate. And then, wow, whatever. We did the best we could with the network. And then we had some wonderful last comments that came in from my favorite grandson, Bell Sonke, founder of the Network for Solidarity, Hope and Empowerment. I have hosted her a few times before. Yeah, Ellen, you know her, right? So she says that, yeah, you cannot be complete without the mental. Good health involves the
Mm.
mental and the physical, and that's what Ellen said. And then she
Yeah.
says, the stigma surrounding mental health is what is yoking us not to think it is normal to have mental issues. And
Yeah.
honestly, Ellen, frankly speaking, you know me, right? What am I doing
Yeah.
with stigma? I don't have nothing, no relationship with stigma, and I'm good living me my free life. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just dump things out there. You do what you want to do with the things. I don't want them in my head, and I live my life. So I think it's for each person to decide whether they want to be yoked or they don't want to be yoked. Because nobody
Yeah.
brings a rope and puts it on your neck and say, this is stigma rope, tie you on your bed. Nobody can come and chain me up now. So I just don't want to find myself in a situation where I'm stuck in my head at all. Let me even be sick physically, but mentally, no, I don't want to get to that point where I'm worried, I'm not sleeping well, and all of those kind of things. So as soon as I get to that, even just see the sparks, I write it. That's why sometimes you see I write so much. That's one of my coping ways. Writing.
Mm-hmm.
I write. I started a book yesterday. I'm like, my head, I cannot keep things in my head. There's too much there. So I need to take it out. Pop, 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 pop. So I just want to encourage everybody, right? Just find what works for you. Find that
Yeah.
balance. Spirituality is very important for me. Physical exercise, sleep, eating, my support network, the music I listen to, the books I read. I have I have a plan. So let's try to have our own plans in spite of all the inequalities we observe out there. You know, you say, the rich, richer, 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 poorer, poorer. I don't
Yeah.
want to over focus on all of those things because I will just go nuts. I kind of like focus more on my own self, what I can
Yeah.
do for
Do
myself
what
and
you
for my
can. Yeah.
children. Yeah.
Yeah. Do
So
what we
thank you
can.
so much, Ellen. We've been on for an hour and 2 minutes. I was really hoping we were not going to go over an hour. Thank you so much, Grandson, for joining. Thank you, Mark, for your comments. All those who are
Thank
going to
you.
watch. This is our own way of adding value to our community. And yeah, this is also kind of some support, free support, because you
Yeah.
can learn from this and take care of yourself. And you don't need to come down to us for a one-on-one because
One
it's not
on.
free when you do that. Okay, everybody, take care then. God bless us all.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Ellen.
Bye, Marie. Thank you. Bye, everybody.